Welcome to Which Side Do You Want, where we talk all things tennis. I'm your co-host, Ruffin Thornton, and I'll be joined by my good friend, James Skinner.
Unlike most tennis podcasts, we cover hot topics, from the lawns to the concrete, from the pros to the park, and all things in between. Welcome to Which Side Do You Want?
Welcome back to our podcast, tennis and racket sport fans, to the final podcast of Which Side Do You Want for 2024. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Ruffin. How are you, my friend?
I am great. I'm happy to get to this final podcast.
I'm telling you, yes.
This is our special podcast. We like to call the Squeegee Awards. This is our year-end, hopefully annual podcast where we have fun with some made-up categories that kind of illuminate how much fun we've had during the 2024 year. So, what's been going on with you since the last podcast?
Well, it's the end of the year, right, and school's about to end.
Right.
But
I know it's got to be happy for you.
Yes, I'm a little happy, and but get back in the fall. Get back in the in January,
right,
and start conditioning. Get ready for the spring. That's right.
Those students are not going to be happy. But
no,
they're
not. But you know what? Such is life.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's just get to it. This is the Squeegee Awards. So we have several categories, several fun categories. Like I said before, we want to make sure that everyone that's listening to our podcast understands that this is all in fun, all in jest, not meant to offend anyone. It's just to have fun at the end of the year. So hopefully you enjoy. So, James, which side do you want? You want to start us off with our first category, the biggest leap in rank.
All right, and I guess I'll go with the men.
Okay.
All right. And so, our biggest leap in rank for the men, the Squeegee Award goes to... Oh, this young man, what a future he may have. This is Giovanni Mapesti Pericard. This French tennis player who is, I think, 20 years of age, made a climb 175 places. He is now 31 in the world. So once you pass that milestone, then he gets to an entry into most tournaments. It's a big leap for a tennis player. But this young man, of course, the first thing we know about him is he's tall, 6'8", and his serve is a major weapon. Right. It is it's like a cannon. He serves second serves at 135 miles an hour.
That's tough.
And has hit in the 140s and close to 150. I think he did hit the 150 range at some point. Right. Just an amazing talent. Now, not one-dimensional. He can hit ground strokes, but I guess with a weapon like that, he doesn't rely so much on it, but he can rally on points. But what I like about him, I think the key to me that as I watch him is that for a 19 or 20-year-old kid, he's pretty unflappable. He's in some situations that he's played some matches that any other player would have been nervous at certain points. He continued to drop that bomb serve, and just amazing young talent. So it's going to be interesting to see how he continues in the future. But players on the tour, if you see him on your half of the draw, you're not happy.
Gonna have
you
fun.
Do not want to see this man, especially. I want to see what happens when he gets on grass. That serve on grass is going to be something to be dealt with. So we'll see how this young man's career takes off. But hey.
Yeah, 175. That's a lot of places.
Yes, and
that's
so
a lot of places,
that changes your life.
Right.
Yep.
All right, so let's do the Squeegee Award for biggest leap on the women's side, and the winner goes to Naomi Osaka of Japan.
Interesting.
Now, we remember and we know this person, but we don't realize that she had not the greatest 2022 and 2023. In fact, she had dropped in the rankings before she took some time out and then motherhood comes into play. You know, that's always on the women's side. That's always going to take some time away from your career. But Naomi, you know, she got her game back. She conquered motherhood, came back on tour just as strong, if not stronger, and much more determined. And she climbed back in from being unranked. She dropped out of the rankings to not lead, but to end up around 58 in the world before the last rankings.
Okay.
So that's a pretty good, strong showing for the biggest leap on the women's side.
Back in the top 100.
Oh yeah, you're okay. You back in the top 100. You know, she may have a few things her way, but you know, to make that climb is still pretty impressive.
And she'll have, in being in that situation, she'll have more opportunities in tournaments. She'll get in draws, and it's her conditioning and how that she can get back to form. And you know, she's still young, relatively young. She's in her mid-20s, so it's not like, you know, this is at the end of her career anyway. She's got a lot to go, and she's such a symbol for the sport. You know, she's an incredible symbol of the sport and where the sport is going into the future.
That's cool. Yeah. All right, so let's do the next one.
All right. Well, now we had the biggest rise. So, of course, when there's a rise, we have to have a drop. So now we're going to look at the biggest drop, and I will look at the men who had the biggest drop in their ranking.
Okay. Let's see who you got. Okay. Drum roll, please.
All right. Well, man, this one hurts my heart. This hurts my heart because we talked about him making his ascension, but we have the biggest drop this year. This year would be Christopher Eubanks, the young American.
Yes.
He dropped from a high of 34 in the world back down to 128. And he had some difficult, disappointing results on the tour while defending his tournament points. And that's the thing. Once you've acquired a certain level, you moved up. Those tournaments that you played in that got you up there, you come back next year, you have to defend those points. Or else you lose them, you lose that point total, and it can be devastating. And so it's a tough sport, man. Tennis is a tough proof at this level. It's difficult.
It's brutal.
It's brutal. But he's a young man that we're happy to see him make that emergence and start his career off. And he's not off the cliff, so to speak. He's at 128. He can still get back and get some.
In fact, he made a couple of at the end of the year, he played a couple of challenger tournaments. Got a few more rankings points back, so he's back. I think as of this recording, about the 108. Okay, so he's not too far off.
Okay, well, that's probably where he wants to be heading into the new season next year. Yes,
and he might be able to get a couple of wild card to entries if that's the case. So.
Sure, and also he's has another career as an analyst.
Oh, I know.
So if
that doesn't work out.
That's right. He's definitely
Tennis Channel is waiting.
Yes. Oh yeah. Let's give him a shot.
All right, let's look at our next one for the biggest ranking drop. Our Squeegee Award goes to the woman who happens to be Marketa Vondrousova, Czech Republic. She dropped from number 7 in the world to number 39. Now, not such a huge drop.
Yeah,
but let's take a look at the scenario.
Ooh,
she won Wimbledon in 2023. She's at the pinnacle. She got to be number 7 because of that monumental win. She got to be number 7 in the world, and this year she didn't quite have those same results. She kind of had a couple of injuries at the beginning of the season, especially during the grass court season. You know, it's unfortunate, but, you know, she not quite the falling that Chris had, but, you know, she still fell quite a few places. She might not have to scratch and claw to get back into the main draws. Right. But, you know, that's still pretty monumental.
Yeah, big drop. But not off the cliff, but, you know, she's going to have to work and get healthy and, you know, and once again, it's a tough game. It's so difficult to stay at that level.
Yeah.
And that's why it's very few stay there consistently. Everybody goes up and down.
And you go up and down no matter where you are in your career.
Exactly.
All right.
Our
next one.
All right. So the next one would be the biggest upset of the year.
Oh, this ought to be good.
All right. So we'll look and see who this is. For the men. Okay, this one, I think this is a universal. Luca Nardi, young Italian player, was a lucky loser in the Indian Wells tournament. And when we say lucky loser, that means he tried to qualify for the tournament and got beat.
Right.
But then someone dropped out of the draw and made a space for him. So he wasn't even supposed to been in the tournament.
Right.
He lost in qualifying. Well, Mr. Nardi gets in and he gets as a lucky loser, you're going to play in someone's space, and he draws Novak Djokovic, the number one player in the world, a legend, and gets in that match, and he defeats Novak Djokovic, plays a match of his life, and so he defeats the number one seed after being from a tournament, and just understand that Indian Wells is it's a 1,000 event. It's a major tournament. So for him to accomplish that, but that was just a huge upset for a lucky loser, someone who was trying to get in the tournament. He didn't have enough points to get in the main draw.
Right.
He tries to qualify, doesn't qualify, but then gets in because someone else pulled out, and he upsets Novak Djokovic.
Oh yeah, and plays arguably the GOAT.
Oh yeah.
Best player of all time, and here he is taking a bite out of the main apple. Oh, by the way, Indian Wells, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, and he was, I think he was ranked 110
at the world. Time. Right.
At the time, 110. And
all right, so let's do our Squeegee Award for the biggest upset of the year on the women's side. So the award goes to Jessica Mannarino of Brazil over Marketa Vondrousova. Again, we just talked about Marketa.
Poor Marketa.
She was one of the first, if not the first, Wimbledon champion to go out in the very first round of the next season's Grand Slam tournament. I mean, the defending champion, Jessica, just came out of nowhere. And again, Marketa wasn't playing her best. Couple of injuries. I know at the beginning of the grass court season, she just was not feeling it, and you could see it in her game. And unfortunately, she ran into an inspired first turn Grand Slam player in Jessica, and that ended up being her first Grand Slam win of her entire career. So unfortunate for Marketa, but at the end of the day, this is why we consider that one of the biggest upsets of the year. Yeah. So
you come from being the Wimbledon champion next year, you get bounced out of first round. But that tournament, Wimbledon does that. You have these young players coming in, and you're excited, and you get a chance to play. You dreamed about playing in Wimbledon, and there you are on the major court playing the returning champion, and you're psyched. And then if you're the champion, there's pressure there. Now you came in the year before, nobody knew who you were. Mm-hmm. Now they know, and the target is on your back, and you got a lot of women gunning for you, a lot of men gunning for you, and so. And that happens. We see that happen. Wimbledon is particular for that because of the surface and the tradition. There's a whole lot going in there that makes that tournament tough.
Okay.
All right. So the next category we're going to have is best match of the year for the women.
Okay.
Wow. So let's see what match we came up with. Oh, wow. All right. This match, Jasmine Paolini defeats Donna Vekic, and this was an incredible match. Jasmine Paolini, of course, the little young Italian star. Well, she's young, but she's not. She's been around for a while, fighting and battling, and she plays Donna Vekic, an exciting 3-set match. And this was the Wimbledon semifinals. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was for, the pressure at Wimbledon, but each time one would come down, they would find the goods to come back again. And it was just that pull back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Paolini, she gets by and gets through, and it sets her up to make it to the Wimbledon finals.
Yeah.
And so what a year she had. But that match was definitely one of the better matches. They both wanted it very badly, and they both fought very hard for it. And Paolini just edged her out. So the three set match, just incredible shot making. And you had two players who are shot makers. You know, they're not going to blow each other off the court. They're going to set their points up, and there's that chess tactics and movement and everything. So that just made it an incredible match to watch, enjoyable match to watch, and hats off to Jasmine Paolini. Yeah, great year.
I agree. It was a fun match. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see it live, but you know, at the end of the day, I was happy for Jasmine to move on to her second consecutive Grand Slam final.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
All right, let's see who we got for the Squeegee Award for the best match of the year on the men's side. Mm-hmm. And our winner for the best match of the year on the men. Oh, you're going to love this one. Novak Djokovic over Carlos Alcaraz in the Olympic finals.
Oh, wow.
This was the resurgent, because Novak kind of had an up and down year this year. A resurgent, locked in Novak that we've come to know and love because he played lights out. Alcaraz didn't play bad.
Right.
But Novak was his Novak of, he was like,
he was fired up.
Not giving an inch. And that's what we saw. And what else made it so great was that with this win, it solidified him as the GOAT, because now he established himself as one of those rare few players to win the career Golden Slam. If you don't know what the career Golden Slam is, you win all 4 career Grand Slam tournaments as well as the Olympic gold medal. So that was definitely one of the best matches of the year, and there are plenty of them. You know, people like the Tsitsipas versus Sinner match, semifinals in Madrid or Monte Carlo.
Sinner versus Alcaraz.
Yeah, I know. Sinner versus Alcaraz. You'll see that a lot.
Yeah, that's.
But you know, this had sentimental, and it was taught. 3 sets,
right?
7-6, 6-7, 7-6. You can't go wrong with that. So.
And it worked in his favor too, because it wasn't the best of 5; it was best of 3 on clay, and he could generate enough energy and enough. But hats off to him. I think a lot of people were happy that he won that Olympic gold medal to add to all of the other things he's done in his career, which is pretty much everything. Everything. What hasn't he done?
Absolutely.
Nothing.
The only thing he hadn't done has been the top server on tour.
Okay. I think he can live with that. All right. Now, next category for our Squeegee Award is the favorite match result of the year. Favorite match result of the year for the men.
Okay.
And our winner for this category, just talked about him. Stefano Tsitsipas over Yannick Sinner, Monte Carlo semifinals.
Right.
Three set match. Probably some people say it was Tsitsipas' finest hour of the year. He's had an up and down career, but he plays well in Monte Carlo.
Right.
It's and it's a tournament his mother won. Just can you imagine? So his mother won it and he's won it. So and he lives there in Monte Carlo, I think. So it's a special tournament for him. And he plays well on that clay. Some of his best tennis, definitely. And against Yannick Sinner, who without a doubt forgot how to lose in 2025. What a career and what a year he had. So this was, to any defeat over Sinner in 2024 was a heck of a win.
Absolutely.
It's this guy. But anyway, that was Tsitsipas is one of those players. I'm hoping that he will be inspired. He's good to have around. I like how his style of play is. He's had some criticism about his attitude and how he plays, but he's a competitive player who wants to win. They're all competitive, hyper competitive individuals, athletes who want to win. That's why they're there. That's how they earn their living. And I also like seeing the one-handed
one-handers. Yeah, shout out to all the one-handers.
Yeah, that's right. They're very few.
Dying
breed. But I'm always happy to see them out there. And Wish him the best in 2025.
Yeah, let's do it. One-handers, come on. Unite.
We got a couple of them coming up.
Right. All right, so let's take a see what the Squeegee Award winner for favorite match or result of the year on the women's side. And the drum roll is Iga Swiatek over Arna Sabalenka, the Madrid finals.
Okay.
Oh man, this was a great match. Yeah. Back and forth. Iga was trying to stabilize herself as number one at that point in the year before Sabalenka ended up taking it over. But it was a dominant clay court performance. She kind of laid the groundwork for her still being the dominant player. Maybe not so much as our favorite male clay court player, not Rafa, but she's still been the most dominant player that we've seen in the last couple of years on the clay surface. And Sabalenka played lights out. She probably played the best match that she's ever played on clay. But Iga just hung in there. She dug in her heels, and she just pulled it out.
Edged out.
I think she overcame 4 match points.
Yes. Yep.
So, you got to give your hats off, tip your hat off to Iga for, doing what she does on her favorite surface.
Not going down. She fought. She fought. Yeah. All right. Now, our next category. Man.
This is going to be where it gets fun.
This is the Squeegee Award for the most overrated player.
Right.
Of 2024.
So again, we remind you, this is all in fun and jest.
Yeah, so if we step on the toes of your favorite player, hey, we're sorry.
And if you are that favorite player,
right. We're just calling them like they're given to us. All right. Well, for some of you all, this player, the winner of this award, I don't know if you want to call a winner, the one who just got this award.
Right.
We're giving it to Holger Rune of Denmark. And promising victories, just hasn't been able to sustain it this year. Did not have the numbers, did not have the wins that he had against the big players often enough. And he had some disappointing losses, some tough losses, but he's young. To his favor, he's still a young player who's on the scene. Last year, he's on the, you come onto the scene and
he was on the rise.
He was on the rise, and a lot of people didn't know much about him. Athletic, great, and then all of a sudden, understand that players have coaches, and those coaches look at your game, and their job is to dissect and find out what your weaknesses are. Then they go back to their player and they say, this is what you need to do. Yeah. And so now it gets harder and harder to rise up and to maintain that level you had the year before. It takes a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
And so hopefully for him, he's young enough that this won't set him back. This won't set him back too far. And he will, get back. I think he's had a few coaching changes, and a lot of people are saying his mother has such a strong influence on his life and his career.
Right.
And they're hoping that there's some coaches that can, but that's a very fine line you have to walk through, a young man's mother. But to kind of get her to move back a little bit, let's work with him on his game and look at some other ways that he can improve his game. He's had some ground stroke deficiencies. The serve is not, the weapon that it could be, but he can develop those things because this is a very skilled young man on the court. And so I think we'll see him turn this around.
Yeah, he will. He will. All right. For our next award, the most overrated Squeegee Award, go on the women's side.
Oh, man.
Goes to.
I'm nervous to see this one.
This is going to be
interesting. I'm nervous to see this one.
The Brazilian. Beatriz Haddad Mia.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Unlike Holger Rune, I have to say that Beatriz has lots of potential, but she just folds like a cheap umbrella in the wind when the pressure gets there. I'm sorry.
Hey, Ruff, don't hold back, man. Just tell us how you really feel.
I mean, she always seems to just let down when the spotlight is the biggest. And that's why you got to say, even though her ranking is where it is, she's in the top 30. She barely beats the players that she's supposed to beat, and she almost never beats the players that she's playing against where she has a chance. she's a big girl. She's got big weapons, lefty, so she's going to have that advantage. But at the end of the day, she has some of the most disappointing results. And I'm not so sure if it's her game or if it's her mental aspect, but, there's something wrong. I'm saying there's something wrong with her, what I would suspect should be a much more promising career for Beatrice. So, she gets our award for the most overrated female player for the Squeegee Awards.
Yeah, overrated, but also, she's got some work to do.
She's got work.
Yeah, they got work to do. Holger Rune has work to do. So they were just overrated this year, but who knows?
But
next year they could be
the most improved.
They most improved, exactly. Yeah, because they're both young.
Yeah.
All right, so our next category we have for our Squeegee Awards.
Another fun one.
Oh man, who wore it best? Now there was a specific category in this particular one, was it not?
No.
Clothing item.
Clothing items, right?
Yes, yes. And so we're talking about for men's tennis clothing within recently it's become more because before men just wore a sports shirt and shorts and that was basically it, but now there's a lot of style, colors, and that sort of thing, and fabrics and all sort of things. So, we talked about now one of the clothing trends that came in, went out, and now it's making a resurgence is the sleeveless shirt.
Right.
Okay. So, the winner of who wore it best for the sleeveless shirt, of course, goes to Francis. Big Foe Tiafo, American, yes. And I think the cutoff sleeves in the hot New York summer, classic American look.
Absolutely.
Right? And also, too, he wears it best, too, I think, because he got the guns to make it look good. Yeah, he got the guns. And so some players wear it, and if your arms are real skinny, you should stay away. Yeah, if you're skinny, you got skinny arms, man, leave the tank top alone.
Yeah,
just go ahead and put the shirt, cover that up.
Yeah, cover that up. Go ahead and get your suntan.
Right, get your tan line straight. But so we give that to Francis Tiafo, who has been fashion forward. Nike gives him the most avant-garde, and I'm saying that nicely, avant-garde outfits to wear. He wears stuff that no one else can wear, but that's because wants to wear. But he can pull it off. That's the thing. It can be crazy, but if you can pull it off and play it,
right.
So you got the crazy colors, and you got the sleeveless shirts, and you got the shorts with things. Hey, you know what? He makes it work.
Right.
Yeah, he makes it work.
The crazy colors too.
Yeah.
I will leave that to Francis.
Yeah, Francis.
All right. So on the women's side, who should be more fashion forward, the Squeegee Award goes to. Let's see. Our girl, Jasmine Paolini of Italy.
Paolini.
For the Asics Peach and Gray outfits of the U.S. Open. Now, honestly, I would never put together peach and gray and call that a fashion sense. But that's just me.
Right.
But somehow, we're talking about Asics players. Jasmine is an Asics player. Beatrice is an Asics player. They were actually wearing the same outfit. In fact, at one point, there were 4 players that playing doubles that wore the exact same outfit at the U.S. Open. And amongst all 4 of those players, who wore it best? Jasmine Paolini. Again, peach and gray may not be the first sense of color that I'm picking in if I see in the store, but Jasmine pulled it off. So we tip our hats to Jasmine on that.
Yeah, well, man, that's a statement for Asics because Asics doesn't customarily. I don't want to say, maybe conservative is a look, but they're kind of like a basic. I like Asic looks though, but it's not. They don't really go way out with any colors without any designs or patterns.
Hence peach and gray.
Right, and so that's a step for them.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So now the next category of our Squeegee Awards, and this is on the men's side, and this is the biggest choke of the year.
Again, we're all in jest, all having fun.
The biggest choke of the year, and the winner, who was it that could not get himself to get? All right. The biggest choke of the year, Alexei Popyrin from Australia. losing to Francis Tiafoe after leading 5-2 in the second set and up a set. The win went out of the sails of the Giant Slayer, who had defeated Novak Djokovic in the previous round. Let's qualify this. First of all, everybody, he beat Novak Djokovic in the previous round.
Right.
So that alone has taken a lot of, I mean, you just beat a legend.
Right.
And it was so it's gonna be tough to come back from that. That high you were on after winning, it's tough. And then you gotta play Francis Tiafoe.
But he was doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, he was up. He won the first set.
But
he's up 5-2 in the second set.
But it caught up with him, and it happens. This, choking and have this category for a tennis player, it's like it's the kind of thing you don't really want to talk about because, and it's happened to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Lord knows it's happened to me.
Yeah. If you play tennis,
if you play tennis, yes,
you know what it's like to snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat.
A defeat from the jaws of victory. Exactly, which is what Popper did. And it's tough to see because when you see that player, you see, he's up to that point, you go, and he needs to get that key. He needs to hold. Right. And usually it starts with you dropping your serve. Right. And then once you drop that serve, now you start to thinking, oh gosh, okay, I'm gonna try to break him here, and then you don't break him, and then then there's more pressure on you. You have to hold the next time, and then all of a sudden it starts to steamroll on you, and then you get a player that's swinging freely on you, and they're gaining more confidence, and you're losing yours. Yeah. It's tough.
It is tough.
But Alexei he'll come back. He's an athlete, man. He's a great player. That was tough, but everyone has been there.
Right. All right, so our Squeegee Awards for the biggest choke of the year on the women's side goes to, let's see.
I think I know who this is going to be.
This was a disappointing first round loss. Sloane Stephens losing to Clara Burrell.
Oh, man.
U.S. Open first round.
Another
former Grand Slam champion. Sloane was killing it. She was up in the first set. 6-3 in the first set.
I think she had a early break in the second. She was up 3 love. Yeah.
And for some reason,
that was a heartbreak.
Either, a frog jumped down her throat or something because all of a sudden she just couldn't hit the ball like she wanted to. Yeah. And it's so disheartening because I pull for Sloane.
Oh, yeah. But
at the end of the day, this was one of those results that make you wonder what's going on.
Well, yeah, it happens. It's tough, but it's just seemingly happening to her on a regular basis, and I hate, because she's such a talented player, and she has, I always talk about her power, that just this easy power and everything, but it takes more than just having the great strokes, and there's some things up here. It's physical, but it's mostly mental.
Yeah.
It's mostly a mental game. All right. Well, coming down to the last two in this last category, and this category is for the men, on the men's side, is the favorite moment of the year, favorite tennis moment of the year. So the Squeegee Award on the men's side for the favorite moment of the year goes to, Novak Djokovic. All right, winning his career Golden Slam. I think you just talked about this.
We just talked about
and so solidified his space, as you said, as the undisputed GOAT, greatest of all time, and with a hard-fought win over Alcaraz. And so for him, everybody was happy to see him win that. Djokovic has had a stellar career. And to say stellar is an understatement. I mean, he's had a career like few people will ever experience having in this game. And it was good to see him, finalize it with that gold medal in the Olympics. Yeah. And his emotion, when we saw him win it, you felt that because he was just overcome with his emotion and feeling. And he usually holds things
very reserved when he does.
And it was great too. I think his kids were there to see it, his son and everything. And I think that he's a family man. It means a lot to him. And from his backstory, people, tennis players know his backstory, but on where he came from. But I mean, just amazing that he was able to survive war-torn. His war-torn country is Serbia, and his parents escaped, got him here, and his father, and his had his dream for his child. You know, that we saw that he had tennis talent and was good, and this was their means of having a better life, you know, for themselves. And he's done that. He secured his family's wealth, but he has generational wealth now. Yes. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and again, I agree. You know, it was a great moment. You get to, again, whether you like Novak, whether you don't, this win, which was all that he really wanted throughout the entire year. You know, he kind of, after the injury early on in the season, kind of abandoned the real push for Grand Slam victories, but he clearly wanted to win the Golden Slam and kind of cement that as part of his his solidification that he's the greatest of all time. Whether you like him, whether you don't like him, you know, you can't deny the facts. And this pretty much closes that door and, and slams it behind him.
So, we talk about how many people have done it. Right. Very few.
Very few.
On one hand.
On one hand, absolutely. Especially on the men's side. You know?
Yeah, definitely on the men's
Dre side. And Novak and Rafa.
Even on the women's side, though, you look at it. You got Steffi Graf, Serena.
And Serena. That's it.
Done.
Wrap. You know, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Mm-hmm.
And speaking of wraps, this is our final award, favorite moment of the year for the women. So, with a final drum roll, please, we get our favorite moment of the year was, again, our favorite Italian, Jasmine Paolini, leading the Italians to the Billie Jean King Cup victory.
What a year.
You know, after playing all of the year, after getting to 2 Grand Slam finals and losing both of them, but still playing with the energy and the heart that she played with. She makes it with a great year, she makes it to the year-end tournament. Doesn't have the greatest results, but she did get a win. But she left that tournament and went straight to the Billie Jean King Cup. And she led that Italy. And again, the field was pretty tough because Iga was playing for Poland. A few other players were playing. Mm-hmm. Canadians were defending champions.
I thought the United States had a tough team.
Yeah, we thought they had a tough team. Well, but, you know, unfortunately, they didn't quite get the results that they wanted. But again, Jasmine and her singles play and her doubles play with her partner, with Sarah Arani. You know, I'm still trying to figure out how she serves. Anyway, at the end of the day, you know, this Italy team led by Jasmine, just, you know, when it all said and done, they pulled out another victorious Billie Jean King.
Oh yeah, and put a cherry on the top of an incredible year for her.
Absolutely.
I mean, getting to 2 Grand Slam finals was amazing. And also too difficult. I mean, it's tough to go from Paris to Wimbledon grass and to be that successful. Very few people have done that, and for a reason. And then to get to the Olympics, represent our country in the Olympics. They won the gold medal. In the doubles, they won the Italian Open. I think they won the Italian Open gold medal. Won the first place. Won the Italian Open in doubles. They were victorious at Billie Jean King Cup in doubles. I mean, just an amazing career. Olympic gold. I did say Olympic gold medal. Yeah. So in doubles. So what a year. What a year, and just happy for her because she's been that scrappy little. My wife, one of her dear friends, she gave her that nickname, Little Scrappy. Little Scrappy. And every time she says, Little Scrappy's done it again. I say, yeah, she has. And so at this point in her career, where a lot of women are starting to kind of, I hope she takes care of herself, and I hope she's getting the conditioning she needs to get ready for the next year, and that they're working on the other things she does so well on the court with her movement and all. And hopefully she has another great year and gets to a couple other Grand Slam finals. We'll see.
Hope so. Yeah. We're pulling for her. Yeah. And again, even though she probably won't win it from the WPA,
it's tough.
She's my favorite for player of the year. Mm-hmm. But I know Sabalenka is probably because she's number 1 in the world.
And she got the hardware.
She's got the hardware. She's got 2 slams.
Yeah.
But still, sustained excellence. You know, Jasmine had it throughout the year in all competitions. So you that's got to say something for her.
Yeah, and then you look at Sabalenka. She's a prototype of a superstar tennis player. I mean, she's tall, strong, you know, and big serve, big ground strokes and everything. And then you look at Jasmine,
yeah.
the diminutive Jasmine,
Right.
who has to rely on more guile and and
but she got
strategy and she can hit the
she
ball
got
too.
pop.
Yeah,
That forehand is no joke.
yeah. So, but it's a good selection for her,
Right.
and like you said, I doubt if she'll win Player of the Year. However, she would definitely be in the running.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Yeah.
Again, great results.
Yeah.
So.
I like watching her mother in the stands too. Her mom, you can see the emotions.
Yeah.
She really, and you can just tell she's proud of her baby, her daughter. And,
Those expressive
yeah,
Italians.
yeah. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for our Squeegee Awards. Folks, I hope you had a great time having fun with us in these categories. Continue to follow us with these. But before we go, we have a few announcements to make for the 2024 retirements. So let's start out with the women. We want to give a great hearty send-off career for Garbine Muguruza.
Garbina.
She actually got married a little earlier this year. Yep. So we want to wish her a happy retirement and a happy marriage.
And she got a career with Tennis Channel too. I think she'll probably be an analyst.
Be back on. The great Shelby Rogers, American great player who played a lot in the early part of the season. Always was doing well at the U.S. Open and Charleston and other tournaments. Not so much around the world, but she was the consummate professional. Yeah. She's retiring. Another great performer, Camilla Giorgi.
Italian.
Another Italian who is transitioning from a tennis racket to a modeling career. So we wish her the best.
Yeah.
And another Grand Slam champion, Angelique Kerber. German. She decided she's following a lot of ladies who are taking a break and taking on motherhood and then coming back. She decided to call it a career. So great. Wang Zhuang. I'm probably butchering her last name, but the great doubles player. Yeah. She's decided to pack it up and say, enough is enough. We're going to call it a career. She's a great, great doubles player.
Yeah, but she's got some impressive singles scalps on her belt too. Wins over several top 10 players: Pliskova, Svitolina, Serena Williams, Sakkari, Ostapenko, Sabalenka, Muguruza, Madison Keys. She's beaten some players. Some players, man. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she's calling it a career for 2024 on the women's side. Now, on the men's side, we have a few more impressive people that we'd like to talk about and give a shout out to them. We'll start out with the Americans. Donald Young, he's calling it a career. Great lefty. We really, really pulled for Donald during his career. Kind of wish he had better results, but can't always get what you want, especially from your junior to your senior career. But Steve Johnson, great NCAA player on the American side.
One of the greatest collegiate players we've ever had.
Because I think he was
he's dominated.
Yeah. But that didn't necessarily, USC didn't necessarily translate the same way from the collegiate ranks to the pro ranks, but he still had a really good career. Since we're talking about diminutive players with Jasmine, on the men's side, Diego Schwartzman decided to call it a career in 2024. So we wish him a happy retirement. Those are some of the lesser known players, but some of the bigger known players have done a little bit more. We'll start out with Dominic Thiem. Dominic Thiem, he was pulling for that #1 player in the world. Didn't quite get there, but he did get his inaugural U.S. Open Grand Slam tournament. So, unfortunately, injuries hit, were his downfall, but still he made a great calling, and still gave it that college try.
The beautiful one-handed backhand.
One-handed backhand. Yeah. But still, he calls it a career, and we wish him much luck going forward. Now for the big hitters. A former #1, a player who broke records for British tennis, Andy Murray, got his ultimate Wimbledon championship and ultimately became #1 player in the world for a couple of years, battling against the likes of Novak, against Roger, and our final player, Rafa Nadal. Rafa, by far, the greatest clay court player we have ever, did I say greatest? We have ever seen. And we're without any hesitation, we will not see anyone of his stature, his great, in fact, statues. No other player has ever played and still had a statue placed in the tournament that you dominate. Oh yeah, while you're still playing. Yeah, that's how dominant he was. Yeah. So,
and I'm still telling the French Tennis Federation, you need to name a court after him. I know he's not French. I know, is it? Okay, that's good because I know he's not a French player. However, I think who was more significant to that tournament than Rafa Nadal and brought more enthusiasm. I mean, we love that tournament, but he just made it because everybody wanted to watch to see if anybody could take him out, you know, and only. What, two people?
Two people.
Soderling and Djokovic.
Three.
Soderling, Djokovic, and who else beat him? Oh, Stan Wawrinka. Yeah, Stan the Man Wawrinka.
Stan the Man.
Yeah, but so that's a very small club. Yeah, a very exclusive club.
When you can say I played a tournament for the better part of 16 years and only 3 people beat me. Yeah. That's saying something.
If you get a chance, go to YouTube. I don't know if they still have that clip, but they have this running time of every person that he's defeated, and it's just you see these images just they shoot past. I don't know if that clip is still on, but they used to show that, and it just shows all of the players that he has beaten, you know, and it just runs and runs and runs and runs, and it's amazing.
That's great, but. So those are our 2024 known retirements. And if you know of any more retirements that we've missed, just let us know. But this is it. We wrap up our year end of 2024 with our Squeegee Awards. James, you got any parting thoughts?
Hey man, it's been great. We love this game. Yep. So, and we try to have this podcast for tennis nerds like us, but we're also trying to bring other people into understanding tennis. It's just an incredible game. It's been an incredible year.
Right.
And for us, for tennis nerds, I mean, we're sad to see this year go, but we get excited for January because we know everybody goes to Australia and goes out there. So our season starts all over again. And
renewal.
Yes, renewal. And so it's always an exciting time. We are just looking forward to 2025, and there's some names out there that are in the works, and I'm very interested in seeing how they develop next year. There's going to be some surprise people out there that you didn't know, and they're going to make some moves in this sport, and so we're looking forward to that as well.
Yeah. Looking forward to 2025 with #1, warmer weather. #2, a new start on a new season. Got to look forward to that. So with that said, that kind of wraps up our podcast. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming in and watching James and I talk to you about tennis, all things dealing with tennis, whether it be the latest fashion, the latest scores, the latest Grand Slam, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We like bringing you our thoughts about the world of tennis, as well as other interesting stories that deal with sports and staying healthy. So with that said, come back, continue to click on the subscribe button down at the bottom.
And share,
and share the link.
Share the link. Tell everybody. And also, we're going to start taking more of any suggestions and things you have, things you want to hear about on the podcast. We want to hear that. We want to hear from you all, have you all make more of a contribution to the podcast because, you know, we do it for us, but we do it for you as well. We all love this game, and we want to see the game, you know, grow to even greater heights.
With that said, go ahead and take the ball.
Have a great holiday.
So for our Squeegee Awards panel, we want to give a shout out to our panel who did a marvelous job in coming up with the finalists for our categories.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Yep. We want to thank Liz. You know who you are. Terry, you know who you are. Chris, you definitely know who you are. my man, Ben, and of course, myself and James, who came up with these exciting categories for the Squeegee Awards. Again, thanks very much.